uh, Juano Savin on right now. Juanito, can you hear me, Juanito?
Hey, bro, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, yeah. Hey, listen. I mean, here we are. You've said on my show many times, Russia Gate breaks first. Now, I'm going to ask everyone on Facebook and on X to please now come over to YouTube so you can hear what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about, you know, Obama, the scandal, the whole thing. Now, remember, folks, I have 𝗀𝗶𝗶𝗹 coming on right after this. That will be on Nino'sCorner.tv. But Juan, thank you for joining me, man.
Hey, and by the way, Papadopoulos, you don't need to ask him about things that he wasn't directly involved in. He may have some understanding. His own story, all by itself. He doesn't have to talk about anything else where he may have heard, done, whatever. He knows his own story. There's so much there. Just stay right on what he knows personally from his own personal experience. He was targeted early on before the election in 2016 uh, in order to create a narrative that Trump was somehow in collusion with Russia and other groups. And so there was a plan to make it look like Trump was essentially a bad guy and to target people inside the Trump campaign. And remember, one of the things we have is we have a person who was in the room, an eyewitness to Comey directing two female FBI officers or operatives to try to infiltrate the Trump campaign as honeypots and try to buddy up with people around Trump in order to get intelligence. Okay, this effort was, and that was all the way back in 2015, not 2016. So, and then it was completely off the books. So, and one of those operatives may very well have been the one that was trying to kiss up to Papadopoulos. I suspect personally, and don't know for a fact, I think it may come out in the documents that that was this supposed student aide to helper at Cambridge. But it'd be interesting to hear what Papadopoulos has to say. I mean, he's the expert on his own situation. We don't have to speculate. We got the guy that's there, and he can tell us. You know, one of the questions I would have for Papadopoulos is, what is he looking for that he believes is in those papers that 𝗀𝗁cie will release? You know, what's he watching for, and or may know is within those papers that 𝗀𝗁cie would release. So we don't have to speculate.
It says here that
you know,
Juanito, let me just break. Can you hear me? You're glitching.
Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
Okay, so it says here there's going to be another drop that is just going to be mind-blowing. General Flynn torches Mike Pence, says he must be questioned in criminal probe over Russia hoax setup. General Mike Flynn joined Eric Bolling on Real America's Voice and dropped bomb after bomb. It is definitely going to be an exciting week. Flynn, Trump's former national security advisor, declared that another drop of declassified evidence is coming that will be mind-blowing, and it could rip open the doors of corruption at the highest levels of government, including vice presidency of Pence. Any idea that you want to talk about on this, Juanito?
Well, okay. Let me just say this: the rumor mill is going full steam, and so in D.C. you have a lot of information that's out there. Some of it from very credible people, but yet it's not fully substantiated. I think we have to, you know, take deep breaths so that we don't get ahead of the news. There's certain stuff where it's true, but it may not be the supporting evidence isn't there yet. And so, and there's going to be attempts to take us off point. So within that, with that in mind, we're going to have to, because of you're going to be drinking from a fire hose. We're going to have to be careful to, you know, let it slow down, pool, and verify exactly what's tied to the documents and what's not. Now, the Obama people and in a broader sense, this cabal of people around Obama and around the 2016 election and the stuff in the 2020 election, they know that they know what they did. So they know what's true and what isn't. And anything that looks a little bit wonky, they're going to be right there to try to discredit based on, say, overreaching statements or misstatements, and then say everything is bullshit. And so at this point, I think within the broader Patriot community, which you're a key person in, we need to take a deep breath. We want to break everything. We want everybody to know it, but it'll be easy to get caught up in things that may not be fully
well, what I think they're going to
or
do,
something. So I want to be just everybody deep breath, because what I want to retain, is the credibility, the viability of this audience and others, so that we don't get damaged in this, fog of war. There's a lot of stuff that is going to be credible. It's just that it's not fully substantiated yet.
Well, this Obama stuff breaks, Juanito. I mean, they're going to be going to full speed with
But
the
that's my
Epstein,
point.
the Epstein stuff.
Right, and we don't have to go to side sources. There's going to be attempts at disinformation. So unless it's almost one of those things, unless you actually heard it off the official website of Trump, 𝗀𝗃, Bondi, Cash, you may need to, even with other persons that are close but not inside the government operation, we'll have to just kind of take some deep breaths and at least qualify what we say. Here's what's being said. You're in Washington, the rumor mill, both the information and disinformation mill are going to be very powerful, even with things that are true. Let the other guys do the speculation. Let's stick with the stuff that we absolutely know that we can vet and as having come out. Go ahead.
All right, so I did report that there was that he is behind the assassination attempt of Trump, or that's 𝗀𝗃 was coming out saying this, which to me sounds completely logical. Just saying.
Well, and by the way, that's been widely reported. A lot of people are aware of this being out there. I'm not. I don't think that that's necessarily been released yet. Now, let me just qualify it this way. Back in 2017, there was a number of people that actually discussed this very thing in that as an attempt that was going to be made on Trump that was thwarted before he even got to the inauguration and some of those meetings at the White House. So, but unless it comes directly from the president, and by the way, let me just say this, even there, remember Trump just 3 weeks ago himself retweeted somebody else's comments in Truth Social concerning the fact that, or concerning the statement that Biden had been executed in 2020. So at the end of the day, Trump has tweeted some pretty bizarre stuff. So even there, there's some wild stuff going on, but he didn't say it directly. He just retweeted it. So, there's in the fog of war,
let me ask you this,
is necessary.
Let me ask you this. What's going to be the price this country is going to pay? What's the price we're going to pay for Trump hunting Obama? I mean, this could cause civil unrest, violence. The liberals are not going to take this too well, and they're going to be pointing the finger at Trump Epstein. They're going to feel justified in doing that. They're going to say Trump is a predator himself and blah, 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 blah. The pot calling the kettle black, no pun intended. But I'm just saying, this could cause the country to spiral out of control. I mean, are measures being taken?
Well, let me add this. Trump.
Hold on, let me just
Trump
finish.
Okay,
let me just finish. Yeah. So, are measures being taken for the potential civil unrest that could happen, the protests, the riots? I mean, this is all happening in tandem at the same time with mass deportations.
Um, Civil unrest is not the same as civil war. I expect civil unrest.
Okay.
And on the numbers, the momentum, the weight is clearly in the Trump side. But that doesn't mean that every last person or even some, there's not some significant, push-pull here. Everybody's got to pick a side and then own it. Even within the Patriot community, there was lots of people ready to dump Trump over the Epstein stuff.
Look at Candace Owens. There's a lot of big podcasters that are out there just completely jumping ship right now.
And that started with the Netanyahu stuff in Iran, okay? And as though Trump was doing the bidding of Netanyahu and he's not his own man. I would contend that that's a fallacy, a misunderstanding of what is going on. In fact, I was into the wee hours of last night and this morning dealing with issues going into Iran and what's going on there. So I think that that's a misunderstanding of what Trump is doing in the broader Mideast and his purposes there. He's actually eliminating a lot of the excuses for action on the part of Israel into the rest of the Mideast and quenching them, moving closer and closer towards how are you going to reign in Israel. And that's, some of this stuff, it's like sausage. If you like sausage, don't watch them make it type of a thing. So, at the end of the day, we want to be on the right side of history. There's a lot of wild gyrations ahead.
You're in Washington D.C. right now, right?
I am, yeah.
Let me ask you this: the House Oversight Committee to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell for testimony. The powerful GOP-led House Oversight Committee will seek to subpoena convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell for testimony about the Jeffrey Epstein case. Are they being set up here, Juan? What is this all about?
I don't think, Ghislaine's going to do a interview over at PPN with a couple of friends there, Patriot Party News. And personally, and I was asked about this, and I said, I would want to let her say what she's going to say. I think we have a strong community, and it will get sifted and weighed. And I'm not throwing any stones at the people in this community who question things, whatever is being said, on any subject. Even, I wouldn't throw any stones at, for example, Candace Owens. I disagree with her on going after Trump over the Netanyahu thing, but I can
see her side, though. I can see why she would be skeptical on Trump. I can see it.
Right. And so part of what's going on here, the scrutiny is a necessary component at this moment in time. We're going to have to sift. I just would be careful not to, go crazy on some of it because all the facts aren't on the table yet. This is a fog of war moment. If the House wants to bring Maxwell in to, get testimony, let's do it. I want to hear what she has to say. And then we may not agree with what she says, or she may be protecting herself or trying to, okay, let's hear though what she has to say, and then the community can make its own determinations. I don't think we'll get full satisfaction or what she says. She's not going to come out and say I was a horrible everything. She's going to try and couch it in ways that make it, somehow palatable to her side. But I still want to hear what she has to say, and I think that's the duty of the House. By the way, so Johnson, he didn't want certain things to be finished where they could shut down 𝗀𝗪cy 𝗵𝗵𝗋 from releasing stuff. There was people that wanted to do a vote, so he shut down Congress early. It's closing out today.
Wow.
And
so why?
normally they were going to go a couple more days. They were supposed to go through the 24th. They're cutting it out, shutting it down.
So they were going to introduce legislation to what was it again? Wanting to
block 𝗀𝗪cy 𝗵𝗵𝗋 from releasing information. In fact, I was at the House yesterday. I got to tell you this. I was at the house yesterday, the members only dining room. They're closing it down today. And so yesterday was the last full day. I was the last, my party was the last group to leave there. And there was other people, 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗁 was there with some of her people. As we were going through the house yesterday, we saw people coming in for a vote. Maxine Waters, Al Green was actually dining right beside us. You know, all the usual suspects. It was, you know, it was interesting to be there, and there is a certain, there's a certain aura around being at the seat of power like that. You know, we're in historic times. Everybody feels it. This is going wild places, and politics fully in play. Now, with it going into recess, you've got all summer, since they can't shut down 𝗬𝗪ce, they were going to try to, and Johnson intercepted that move.
Wow. So in other words, all summer, this information is just going to keep pouring, flooding out.
That's right.
There's going to be no stopping it. They can't do anything.
And the fire hose is fully on. And, and by the way, you know what's the fire hose supposed to do? Well,
hold on, my timer just went off, so that means keto and Nino, folks. Hi, family. I want to speak to the viewers out there. What to yourself again? Without starving.
I took just a moment with you.
You got it.
And,
so Juan. That's all right.
But,
hey,
I'll
what
get
about
back
this
on
though?
it. I'll get back on it when I get time. It's hard when you travel. It really is.
Do you have time to listen to take some super chat questions real quick?
I don't. I've got people that flew in just to meet with me that are standing by. So I took just a moment with you.
You got it.
And,
so Juan, let me ask you this. We'll talk about the arrest coming with Obama on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. We'll get into the details and minutia on that.
Yeah, and you know, it's just I'm you know, I've got 4 or 5 people that want to meet yet today that are all crucial in some of these
you go do what you got to do, Juanito.
things
that's
that are
fine.
happening. It's a you know.
All right, Juanito. Thank you for joining me. So I'll call you later today.
All right, super, Nino.
All right, Juanito. Thank you. God bless.
All right, bye.
All right, folks, that was Juan Savin giving us a little update. I'll have him on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏TV. I'll also have 𝗀𝗃𝗶𝗹 on today. So it's going to be a big day today on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏TV. I'm going to get Juan to tell my audience what he told me about when this arrest could be and when they're looking at it. What's the target date? I'm telling you, folks, Roy Black, famed defense attorney for Rush Limbaugh and